A major change in work hours for Thunder Bay Police. The Thunder Bay Conservatory prepares to reopen to the public. And still no deal as the U.S. budget clock ticks down.
Good evening and thank you for joining us. The Chief of Police is hoping a shift change for employees will result in savings.
More than 160 people at the Thunder Bay Police Service will soon be working longer days. The 12-hour shifts have been looked at for more than a year, but until now, the Police Association hasn't gone on board. Dennis Ward has more.
Chief J.P. Levesque has informed the Police Services Board of a recent vote that will result in the shift change. The restructuring at the police department will take effect in January. The move will see uniform officers, communications staff, and employees of the records section work 12-hour days rather than 10. Levesque also hopes the new schedule cuts down some costs.
We're hoping that we're able to cut out some overtime that we're seeing. On the 10-hour schedule, we're seeing a lot of where we don't have as many people on the day shift. And by the time the afternoon shift comes in, we're seeing that the afternoon shift is having to clean up after the day shift sort of thing.
There are studies both for and against police officers working 12-hour shifts, but Police Association President Greg Stevenson says he isn't concerned.
Shift work is shift work. It's hard on the body, so we're hoping that it improves manpower. As to quote our former president, puts more boots on the ground, allows more officers on the street for a 24-hour basis.
The chief says he will also speak with the Police Association about shifting around rotations for the beat patrol. There have been calls from the business community to have boots on the ground in the downtown cores during the evenings. The 6 officers currently walking the beat cost about $1 million a year. Levesque says expanding the program is not likely.
That would, of course, take the resources to do that, so we'd have to probably double the unit. There's no place from within the department. I'm able to find 6 officers at this point, short of the board expanding our budget so I could hire 6 more officers. I just don't see it happening at this time.
Dennis Ward, TBT News.
A 32-year-old man charged with second-degree murder earlier this month will have to wait a bit longer for his bail hearing. Sheldon Mark Yesno was arrested and charged after the vehicle he was driving struck a cyclist. It happened on October 1st at the entrance to a parking lot in the 200 block of Algoma Street South. The cyclist, 38-year-old Rick Vastek, later died from injuries sustained in the collision. Police said he was intentionally targeted, and officers obtained surveillance video which identified the vehicle, and a further investigation led to the arrest of Yesno. His case has been remanded until Monday, when he will appear by video conference at the Ontario court to set a date for a bail hearing.
Well, just days after another closure to the public, the Centennial Conservatory is set to reopen. Late Friday afternoon, a malfunctioning roof vent caused several glass panels to break and left a large piece of glass hanging above a walkway. The glass never made it through safety netting that was installed in the conservatory earlier this year, but City Parks Manager Paul Fayrick says they didn't want to take a chance on anyone getting hurt. Repairs were done over the weekend, and the Tropical Display House will reopen to the public tomorrow. Fayrick says he doesn't see there being a risk in the future.
The way the conservatory operates, those roof vents are primarily there for summertime to let out excess heat. So as we move into the winter, those few days where it actually gets, the temperature gets up in there, we'll be able to open up side vents and cool the facility down as needed. So we'll be looking at this over the winter, and things should be fine.
Previous problems with the glass ceiling caused the conservatory to be closed to the public for nearly a year. Fayrick says there was a steady flow of people when it first reopened in February, but says the numbers have dropped off since then.
A Thunder Bay cyclist wants the city to hurry up and make some improvements to an unofficial bike trail near Memorial Avenue. Ken Shields has been biking to and from work for 14 years now using this old railroad right-of-way. He says it's about time the city install a culvert along this creek so that cyclists traveling down Winnipeg Avenue can carry on to Carrick Street without having to merge onto Memorial Avenue. Shields has created a petition in hopes to get 500 signatures. The city's active transportation coordinator told Shields 3 years ago they were going to install the culvert, but it hasn't happened yet.
For the last 3 years, the city has been saying that they are going to put the culvert in and create the bike trail. and it hasn't happened. So I'm going to the public for help. I'm looking for petition signatures.
The petition can be found in almost all local bike shops.
A pilot who went missing this weekend in Northern Ontario has been found safe and sound. The Joint Rescue Coordination Centre at CFB Trenton launched a search after the man's family reported his plane didn't arrive in Horn Payne on Sunday evening after leaving the Lake Skagog area. An official at the rescue center in Trenton says a Hercules aircraft spotted the man yesterday in his downed and damaged aircraft in a swampy area near Wawa. He wasn't injured, and he was picked up by a helicopter and taken to Chapleau.
Anyone driving by the Thunder Bay Airport tomorrow morning is being advised not to panic if they see what looks like a major emergency. The airport, along with city police, fire, and EMS, will be participating in an emergency response exercise. The mock scenario will involve an aircraft on the southeast runway near the airport solar farm. The exercise should be wrapped up by the lunch hour.
Fire Prevention Week may have come to an end, but local kids are still learning about the dangers of house fires. Firefighting students from Confederation College were at St. Margaret's School today, passing on tips while also developing their own public education skills. Mike Albanese has that story.
Scheduling may not have landed this event during Fire Prevention Week, but it's still aimed at teaching the same message. Retired fire inspector Brian Behringer is now a college instructor, and his group of soon-to-be firefighters were teaching grade 1 to 3 students the ins and outs of how to survive a fire safely.
Part of this course that we teach is public education and how to get a grasp in your community. So this is a good chance for them to do both. Get out in the community, make themselves heard, and even though they're not fully qualified yet, they're doing very well with what they have to offer.
One of Behringer's students is Tim Bernardi, a teacher turned firefighter. Now, even though Bernardi and Behringer went opposite ways career-wise, he believes that working with kids is the best way to craft your teaching skills, and the lessons will be invaluable to not only the kids, but the firefighters too.
It's really neat to see some of my classmates. This is the first time a lot of them are in front of students, and it's amazing to see that they're just stepping into a role. As soon as you get a few kids in a room, it brings brings other element to what we do and how we interact with people.
The firefighters set up a maze to crawl through, a dress-up session to show the kids the outfits, and they read them a story to teach them logical decisions. All of these events were set up by students at Confederation College and led by them as well. Grade 1 teacher Yvonne de Bruin was impressed by the dedication shown.
They want to learn that, they want to know how to talk to children, and it's good for children to get to be involved with these people so that they're not afraid if firefighters actually have to come to their home, and to give the firefighters, the pre-service firefighters, a chance to speak to the children and to know what they have to do, and it's giving them really good practice.
The interactive session showed immediate responses from the 70-plus children during the question period. The kids knew more about how to survive a fire and also learned that boys and girls can become firefighters. By teaching children, the firefighters hope a ripple effect will start and the kids can teach their parents how to be safe from a fire. Mike Albanese, TBT News.
Aboriginal consumers contribute hundreds of millions of dollars to Thunder Bay's economy, but sometimes a lack of understanding by the vendor on the process of accepting status cards can result in delays for the customer and an unwanted hassle for the business owner. The Thunder Bay Chamber of Commerce is distributing these decals to its member businesses. They're designed by the Chamber's Aboriginal Opportunities Committee, and they're meant to not only present a positive message to status card users, but to spur business owners to learn the rules. The Native community contributes upwards of $300 million annually to the local economy, and then Deputy Grand Chief Alvin Fiddler says if businesses want a piece of that pie, it pays to be accommodating.
That's how they need to look at it. It's a win-win situation for everybody. Otherwise, if they refuse or if they create barriers to that, then people won't go there.
They are part of a treaty. They are part of law. Aboriginal consumers are entitled to the use of them. And so I don't think enough has been out there to promote and understand that. We may assume that people know what they're for. This is just an opportunity to create dialogue and discussion around why they're there.
The decals are being mailed out to affected Chamber of Commerce members. They're also available for pickup from the Chamber office.
Piano lessons, cooking lessons, tutoring. The underground gym is no longer just about boxing. More and more options continue to become available for those who use the Southside Recreational Haven. And those who have been going for years credit the gym and its operator, Peter Panetta, with keeping them out of trouble. As Mike Albanese reports, many of them are now giving back as well.
Always a hub of activity, the underground gym seems to be a lot busier these days. Around every corner and behind every door, something is always going on. Operator Peter Panetta has expanded programming at the gym to include everything from cooking to tutoring.
Give them more opportunities, because I mean, not every kid wants to box, not every kid wants to paint, not every kid wants to play piano, so you got to give them a variety, right?
While there are many new kids, some of the originals are still around and now helping out. Chad Poster has been with Panetta for more than 15 years. Now he's the one who's helping to train the next generation of youth.
Just helping with the kids, bringing back, helping Peter out. He was there when I needed help and everything, and he's always been there ever since, training me for free, so the least I can do is pay back the favor and help him out.
Scott Frank has also been coming to the gym for a long time. About 10 years ago, he says he was a troubled teen, looking for something else to do rather than getting high on drugs or joining a gang.
It's a good place to come, get your, set your mind free, express yourself by, boxing or any of the other programs they have around here. It's a good place to be. I think I could speak for myself and, a lot of other youth that are, involved here that, Peter gives, a lot of kids hope that they have a bad day at school or a bad day at home, that they could come here and, they have something to do, they have things to keep them occupied, activities and, friends and people to talk to.
The underground gym's open door policy leads to a packed house. Panetta is using every inch of the facility to offer programs, but has no plans to move or try to expand. Paying the bills is a reach at times, but Panetta says he's in the perfect location on Simpson Street. Mike Albanese, TBT News.
Some local high school students got a chance to picture what their future could look like after graduation. Hammarskjöld students were trying on various uniforms and then had their faces photoshopped into a variety of different careers. It's all part of the province-wide Picture Your Future tour, organized by Colleges Ontario. The green screen technology allows students to see what they would look like as a paramedic, firefighter, broadcaster, business person, or nurse.
I think it's being able to see not just a person doing whatever trade we're talking about, but it's seeing yourself doing whatever trade we're talking about. And they can make it their own, because we have all these different props and different costumes, so they can add a touch of silliness if they want to be, in the medical business, but they really want to wear these purple sunglasses. That's fine for the picture.
Thunder Bay was the first stop on the province-wide tour.